Hi, I'm Meera Patel.
I'm Meera Salat.
I'm Pagrav,
and we are members of Pagrav Dance Company. We have been performing under the company for many years now.
Today we started rehearsing Holst Sāvitri, choreographed by Urja Desai Thakore.
And if you want to catch it, come and watch us on the 4th of May at the Barbican. It felt like the movement and the emotion, they're so connected that to understand the movement we need to really be with the emotion and be with the story, and it feels kind of, just as abstract movement, it doesn't make sense in a way. So you need to do it, you need to dance it with that feeling to get the most out of it, even in just the learning of the movement as well. Yeah.
And I think initially when we listened to the music, it was hard to get into it until we read exactly what they're saying.
What it was.
And then understood the intensity of the emotions and everything that's happening. And I think it's helping with the movement and the way that we're moving, I think, is then we can actually really get into the emotion of the character, which is, I think, also helping with the choreography, the way that we're moving, which is quite...
Yeah, I also feel, because obviously we don't listen to opera, when you feel emotion in like other things or you hear English speaking, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So when they're exclaiming something, you're like, oh, what are they exclaiming? And then you read it and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's not the same magnitude to what you might expect, so it's like going with what you might feel and what you're hearing you feel.
Yeah, because we read through the libretto, but now I'm not trying to listen to what word is being said, but the emotion of the melody that's coming through each word. And what's challenging so far is, I know it's not been done explicitly, but trying to shift from one character to another within yourself.
Yeah.
So,
And also...
That's making that very smooth.
Yeah, and to bring in the characters, obviously in this first section, which we've just been working on, death is like coming over Sāvitri, right?
Yeah.
And to bring that in...
And both characters.
Exactly.
Both emotions.
And what's happening internally and externally through your actual movement. So,
And still familiarising ourselves with the music.
Yeah, and it's an opera that I'm not familiar with at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I think if it were in another language which we didn't understand, we wouldn't be really trying to necessarily hear specific words.
Hold on to
I mean,
words
obviously
as well,
we would also get used to certain phrases and words, but I think I'm letting go of trying to
listen,
hear, or listen out for something and just wait for it, and then let the previous movement flow into the next one.
It's also exciting where we've got to just now, because at the beginning there's no music, right? So we've just got to the bit where there's music coming in and you're like, oh, and that feels like a little bit more familiar for us, maybe, because we're just like, we play, we dance to instruments and stuff all the time, so that it's like a little bit of comfort, but we'll see where that goes as it comes along.
I don't know what you guys feel, but where do you think you are? I feel like I'm in a cave.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like that's like the portal to death. No, but I just feel like we're being that's sort of the place around us, but also like stone, stone,
cold.
and also like firelight as that kind of lighting as well. That it's kind of flickering, and there's a warmth, but it's also very cold, as you say. Like the cold of the stone. But the warmth of life,
I feel like I'm in a fun fair ride that I've been on before, where you've probably been on it, where you go in and you go against the wall and it spins you around, gravity goes like that against the wall. But I feel like I'm on that in the dark.
Where you're standing
in the dark, and I'm trying to push out of it. I don't know. It's a fun fair ride. That's what I think.
It feels really cold to me. Cold, and I think I'm consciously thinking about the fact that it's pushing back and it's dark, so then I can't now see through, because initially I was looking through something and trying to see far, but now also thinking blank, thinking I can't see anything, and that sort of fear is overtaking a lot of emotions, I think, coming through, and actually remember you're still in dance, and overcoming fear of, feeling that fear.
Although I don't know for you guys, but it changes for me when Sāvitri's voice comes in.
Yeah, the
I
cave
feel like
happens.
I feel like I see, like if you are in a cave when there's like one little rock hole and like another one there, and there's like slowly one's appearing. Maybe it's in her voice. There's some sort of
there's
like
some comfort,
optimism. Or
1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to sideways go 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you bring 9, 10, 11, 12, and then spread 14, 15.
Hi, my name is Urja Desai Thakore. I'm a choreographer, artistic director at Pagrav Dance Company. So it has been extremely interesting process for me. First of all, I have never choreographed for opera. So when I was approached, I was excited, at the same time a little bit nervous, because I wanted to give kind of an honest approach to it. But at the same time, I was quite conscious that I didn't want to kind of make it literal, and just because it's an Indian classical dance, I didn't want to kind of make it an exotic presentation of the art form. So those things are very kind of clear in my head before I started. So I was more, I knew the story of Sāvitri and Satyavan, and still I kept on reading about that story again and again and again, and just talking a lot about that, and kind of came up with this approach of not kind of allocating each one of them a character, but kind of look the three characters as one, and how as an individual we look at death, and like if I place myself in place of death or Sāvitri or Satyavan, how would one character behave? So I just wanted to kind of put that into place, and I see this more of as Satyavan, Sāvitri, and Death, who are the three main characters of this opera. For me, they are like one atom, like three molecules of one atom, and then kind of how they are separate, but they are one, and how for us death is inevitable, it's going to happen, but how we can kind of treat them or fight that with our own resistance is something which I was looking at it in that kind of approach. So that was the whole approach in my thinking. When we came to the studio, it was almost like a blank moment. I didn't know where to start, and we listened to the whole music with the libretto in hand, all four of us, and I was just talking earlier to someone, and I was saying that because you are expecting to listen English, you are expecting to understand every single thing which is going on, and when you don't do that, when you're not unable to do that, you get frustrated, and then you lose the connection with the music. So that's what did happen in the beginning, not only today but also before. When I heard it, I heard it 2-3 times before I came to today's session, and but I had this disconnection with it. But when I kind of, in the middle of it, it almost was irrelevant of what words I'm listening, and I started having this connection with the music. And then again I went back to the beginning, because that was a section which I wanted to work with. I like to work with the beginning, and then I like to work with the end, and then I kind of try to fill in between. That's how usually my process works. So when I started working with the thing in the first thing, it felt like like a spiral, and that's kind of like a life cycle, like going up and down in life, and life after death, and again rebirth, and all of those things kind of made me think about the way I wanted to start the piece. So it was quite interesting, and fortunately it happened very organically as well. So it was not forced a lot. So yeah, it was good. So Kathak is a North Indian classical dance form. It's a 2,500 years old art form, and it has been evolving since then. Initially it was performed by what we call Devdasis, who were dancing in front of ideals of God. They were the worshippers, and they believed that their birth is to entertain God, so they would dance in front of the ideals of the God. Then when India was invaded by Muslims, it had a Mughal influence, and it was brought into the courts of the emperors, which then was brought into the, when Britishers invaded India, it got the label of entertainment, and then it was gained the status of classical art form. So it has been evolved over the years. For me, it is still evolving. I don't do dance the way it was done thousands and thousands of years old, because it's an oral tradition. So it has changed over the years. And even now when I teach my students, when I pass on that baton, they are going to evolve it and they are going to change it, and that's the part of the process. So as such, I would say that try not to look out for any particular things, because my idea is to exoticize the art form, because people do feel that when we are going to see Indian classical performance, we would see certain type of clothes or certain types of hair and certain type of hand gesture, and we need to know the meaning of everything what they are doing. I'm someone strong believer that there are only two kinds of dance, good dance and bad dance. So if it is a good dance, it will resonate with you. And if it is a bad dance, you are not going to resonate with it. But the key elements, if you want to talk about Kathak, that's footwork, movements and turns, pirouettes. These are the main elements of Kathak. So I call that as a vocabulary. Like with any classical art form, music, dance, anything, there is a strict vocabulary which we follow, and then there are strict do's and don'ts. So for me, that is classical, and what I create are the sentences which are relevant to me in this current time. So that's how I see the art form. Sorry, sir.